Welcome, everybody. The NFL Draft is this week. I'm Joe with the Game House. Today we'll be doing an updated Los Angeles Chargers 2024 NFL mock draft. The Chargers are up in our 2024 NFL mock draft series. We did one mock draft with them before, but now we're going to do it again now that free agency has passed. And a lot has changed with the Chargers, too. So we'll see what we can do with this mock draft. We'll be using the NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. I like it because it meshes big boards from around the internet together rather than having their own big board on there. Also, we will not be accepting any trades. We want to keep it as realistic as possible. Even though the Chargers could be a team that do trade, we're going to have some players who drop, who maybe won't drop on draft day, but that's okay. We'll roll with it. All right, so declining all trades. Now, if this is the board here, my mock draft has Malik Nabers going number 5 to the Chargers. I think, if you take one of these two, right? Like, you could take Joe Alt. We know Jim Harbaugh loves the offensive line. I do think he'll try to address that later on in the draft. So I do think they should go wide receiver after Keenan Allen's gone, Mike Williams is gone. I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. This might more likely will probably be Malik Nabers there, but they need to get weapons for Justin Herbert. I don't know what the plan is otherwise. If they go offensive line here, they could go wide receiver later, but you're obviously not getting as high caliber of a offensive lineman. All right, so we'll go to the next pick here, 37. Johnny Newton is extreme value. It's not the biggest need, and offensive line is something where I think Jim Harbaugh is going to want to hit. We're gonna take the risk here. We're gonna go Johnny Newton with the value, and we know that Los Angeles has had a tough time stopping the run over the last several years. Get another defensive lineman in there who can maybe help you with that, and we'll go from there. Next pick, we have a couple options here. I'm going TJ Tampa, the corner out of Iowa State. They do need a little bit more corner help in the next couple of years here. I do think it's really weird passing up all these offensive linemen who we could have taken. It's weird passing up some of these other guys, but we still have some decent ones here who I think can compete for a spot, and maybe ones that Jim Harbaugh will prefer. So we're going to Roger Rosengarten. He's a guy that Mel Kiper likes as a first round pick. I'm not as high as on him. I have a second round grade on him, but pick 105, we'll take him. And now this is the luxury of having another pick at 110. Have some real options here for him. We'll go Cade Stover out of Ohio State. It might pain Jim Harbaugh a lot to pick two Ohio State guys, but if the board falls that way, I think it'd be okay. Cade Stover had a really big 2023 season, and I think he can really provide an impact for this Chargers team. This is just too good of a fit. We're going to go Audric Estime out of Notre Dame. Chargers need younger running backs. He is a guy who will run through a brick wall. He's a bigger guy, doesn't have the most speed, but if you want to wear down a defense, he could be a guy who can do that for you for the Chargers. All right, so pick number 181, as we have the pop-up there. I'm going to pick him for a lot of teams, but we're going to go Jalen Hunt, the edge rusher out of Houston Baptist. I don't think a lot of these mock draft simulators have updated where he's actually going to go. A lot of people think he'll go maybe even earlier than 181. Former safety, very athletic edge rusher. You do need to be able to coach him a little bit better, but a lot of Jim Harbaugh's most successful teams at Michigan were the ones who could get after the passer. We see Aiden Hutchinson in the league right now, David Ojabo as well. All right, so next pick here. Let's go with one of his own. Let's go Trevor Keegan, the offensive line. I actually think he might go a bit higher than this. A lot of people are a little bit higher than 225 on him. Get one of his own. I do think there's a good chance he does take some of his Michigan players here. He recruited them. He does seemingly love his players and everything. I do think he can get the most out of them. So you would think that could be a possibility. And that might just lead him to take Braden McGregor on the edge for Michigan as well. A depth guy, probably never going to start, but get one of those Michigan guys in there to even up the Ohio State-Michigan balance there. So number 5, Marvin Harrison Jr. might actually be Malik Nabers. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe the Cardinals trade out. Maybe 4 quarterbacks go in the top 4. Who knows? Drazon Newton, Johnny Newton, also known by. Got to improve that interior defensive line if you're the Chargers to really take a step forward. TJ Tampa, a bigger outside corner, I think can really help them. Roger Rosengarten, a fluid mover at offensive tackle, needs to add some strength, but can really, I think, develop into a starting tackle in the league. Cade Stover, the tight end out of Ohio State. He's very good former defensive player, moved to tight end, and I think he developed, and you saw some development this past year. We'll see if they can improve. Audric Estime, just so tough to tackle. I think he'd fit perfect in a Jim Harbaugh offense, even though he played at a rival in Notre Dame. Jalix Hunt, the athletic edge rusher out of Houston Baptist. Trevor Keegan and Braden McGregor for some of his Michigan guys. Let me know what you think of this mock draft down in the comments below. We'll be doing more for every team as we go through the NFL draft. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.